When you're in the market to purchase a new home, the two big questions are, how much is my monthly payment going to be, and how much cash am I going to need to make this happen? So I want to spend a little bit of time explaining closing costs. First and foremost, this is in addition to a down payment, not included in. So closing costs are broken up into 5 major components. The first are lender fees. So these are fees associated with obtaining the loan specifically. A processing fee, underwriting fee, credit report, appraisal, things of that nature. The second bucket is title fees. So in most jurisdictions around the country, certainly all of them in the DC metro area, a settlement company or title company is executing the closing. So there's a fee associated with them doing that. In addition, they're also doing a search of the land records to convey clear title to you. So the settlement fees are sometimes broken out into a few different line items, but there is a fee that goes to the settlement company. There's also title insurance. It's a little bit nuanced, but it basically is a one-time policy that is broken up into 2 components. The owner's coverage, which protects you as the owner, and the lender's coverage, which protects the loan's interests. And it's against just any clouds or defects on title that may arise after the fact. The third component are the taxes, transfer recording fees. So this is not the real estate taxes you pay on an ongoing basis, but consider them the sales tax for the purchase of the home itself. In many jurisdictions, those are split amongst the buyer and seller, but not all. Then you have third-party fees. So these are things like the home inspection, if you opt to get a survey, things of that nature. And then lastly are the prepaids or escrows. This is basically money that is getting put aside to pay future tax and insurance bills as they become due. So when you total all of that up, closing costs are typically an additional 3 to 5% of the purchase price. So again, that is in addition to your down payment. So there are a couple of things that can be done to offset closing costs. Number one is a seller credit. In this market, admittedly, that is a very difficult thing to negotiate. But if you were, most loan programs allow for the seller to give a credit back to the buyer, somewhere between 3 and 6% of the purchase price that can go toward the closing costs. There's also some other ways, possible lender credits or realtor credits can all be applied toward the closing costs to reduce the overall amount you need. Now, one important thing to note is any credits, whether it's a lender, realtor, or seller credit, that can only go toward the closing costs. It cannot go to your down payment. That has to come from you as the buyer. So hopefully this gives you a little insight into how much you need for closing and what is made up in the closing costs. Look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks. I hope you found the information helpful. Certainly welcome you to subscribe and be sure to click the link below.